Welcome back to the Toppling TBR. I'm Stacey.
And I'm Hannah. And today we are doing our deep dive into Heir of Fire in the Throne of Glass series. We'll split it up into parts. We've got part 1 and part 2, so we'll jump right into part 1. It starts off with Celaena being super depressed, and she's really hit rock bottom. And on my first read through, I actually found it pretty frustrating. I was a little impatient for her storyline to pick up, but this time through, I actually I think it gave me more. I don't know. It made me respect her journey and made me more excited for whenever she finally got there. Do you think it was paced well, or
No, I actually really enjoyed it. I really
really?
enjoyed it. Yeah, I didn't find anything frustrating. I did find that her story was a little slower. I
Mm.
didn't enjoy her sections as much as the rest of the book, but it was still really good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm having completely different feelings this go through. So, okay, shortly after that, enter Rowan, who, in my opinion, his methods seem very abusive in the beginning.
Yes.
But I mean, I think that's really what Celaena needed to push her to not only survive but to accept her power. So I also kind of feel like he's a mirror of her, of sorts. Like they're both angry and hardened and grieving and kind of broken. So I think
Yeah.
he was the perfect person for her to grow in that aspect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question for you. Do you think that Rowan saw her more clearly than Chaol, Dorian, Sam, any of her past love interests? Or
I don't know. Chaol was up there, but I
Mhm.
think, yeah, I think Rowan definitely understood who she was in
Yes.
reality, opposed to the person she was trying to be. Because he kept calling her Aelin, and she kept saying, "Don't call me that."
Hmm.
And he's like, "I'm not calling you anything else," because that's who she is at her
Right.
core. And she was avoiding that. So yeah, he understood that she needed to accept the reality of who she was,
Absolutely.
opposed to the portrayal of who she was putting out there for everybody else. So yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, definitely.
I think their relationship was pretty raw, even though it started off, I didn't know how to read it this time through. Like you grow to like him more throughout the series. So like jumping back in the beginning and seeing how he was treating her, I was like, Rowan. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. But I don't know, I think he's the only person who hasn't treated her like she's, either fragile or special. I think,
Yes.
I don't know, that was a not a normal area for her. Usually, well, people know who she is and they act accordingly to her. So that was definitely different. Did your opinion of him change gradually, or was there one particular thing or instance that happened that made you like him?
Think it was I it chipped away slowly for me. Like I didn't like him at all at first. I'm like, who is this piece of shit coming in here and treating her
Yeah.
like garbage? Like you can see that she's not okay. Like why are you being like this? But you could kind of see as it progressed on that there's methods to his madness, and he is allegiant to somebody else. But you could see that he didn't want to he didn't want to like her, or he wanted to do his job and get away from her.
Well,
But you just slowly you could just see it. And then when like he's screaming for her, I can't remember what was happening. Oh, when she was going to sacrifice herself to save everybody, like to save all of us, like he's screaming for her. There I was like, oh my god, he's in love with her. Like he loves her.
yeah. I really, really actually enjoy their relationship as it grows. There wasn't a single moment for me, but there was one thing that made me like laugh this read through. It was whenever, he's trying to pick on her and piss her off to get her to shift. She's talking all this shit to him and he grabs her tongue and then he like bit her.
Yeah.
And then immediately after he says, I won't do that again. You don't bite women of other males. And to me, I took that as like, so do you have a boyfriend? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. He didn't know anything about her. And that to me was just, I thought
Yeah.
that was really
That
funny.
was exact. He was exactly asking her, "Hey, is there somebody else?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
funny. I quite enjoyed their dynamic. I
He
actually
did.
enjoyed the way their banter was going.
Yeah.
It was different because everyone else didn't really talk to, like Sam didn't talk to her like that. Kale didn't talk to her like that. Dorian didn't talk to her like that. But he was kind of rougher, I guess.
Well, I mean, he's also what? I don't know if it tells you his age in this book, but he's centuries old.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense that he's annoyed by her, little small grievances that he doesn't know the depth of them. And, she's a brat. He calls her a brat. She is a brat.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It makes sense to me.
Yeah. Oh, it totally does. You can tell that he like she was alive and she ran from her kingdom, and that's cowardly to him, right? And he's a warrior, so that must have really pissed him off. It would
Yeah.
me. Like, you ran away from your crown, like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed. One thing too that I wrote down is Aelin and Rowan are distant cousins. Why do you think SJM included that in there? I mean, is that weird to you?
No, because looking at the lineage, like, there are so many, like,
Yeah.
they must be fairly far apart. But I'm guessing she did that because she's fire and he's ice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
they're going to create something really powerful together.
Yeah, I really do love the balance and like that their magics are on opposite ends of the spectrum. I like that we get to see that. I think they're going to be really good working together. They can keep each other
Yeah.
in check. I don't know. I noticed it for sure. I feel like it kind of told us later in the book, but I really picked up on it earlier, like in part one this time, that Rowan and Aelin's looks at each other and the looks and things that they're able to convey through their thoughts is oddly specific.
Yeah.
So it's like it started off like, oh, she looked at me as if to say, you know, this and that, and then it adds on some extra stuff that a look wouldn't actually say. But then later on in the book, they're actually having like full blown conversations.
Yeah.
So what do
I
you
noticed that.
think that is? You think they're like mind speaking?
I think they must be doing something like that because that we find out later in the book they're bonded, right? And he obviously knew that earlier on and she didn't have a clue. And I don't think we were supposed to know that either.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of their like mating bond. Like that's kind of what I was thinking anyway, that
Yeah, I
yeah.
didn't realize how late I noticed it in the book on my first read through. And then it started happening so early. And I was like, oh, I missed so much.
Yeah. It's crazy because the first time you read something, you're just kind of following the story, but when you already know where the story's going, you get so much more out of
Yeah,
it.
it's been really nice to be able to,
Yeah.
it makes me appreciate it even more. Okay, so training, all that. And then the first really big scene that we get is whenever she goes through the barrows to, you know, face the whites. And there is this unknown creature in there. And she has to kind of relive and go through all of everybody that she loves deaths. And I
Yeah.
felt like that was really intense. I feel like
Yeah.
each time it addresses her parents' death, we get a little bit more of the picture, and it's devastating.
It's horrible. Like, I can't imagine being a child and having gone through that.
I know. And like oh, it's just wet. Let me close the window. Let me crawl in bed. And then just, and not only, yes, your parents are dead. That's tragic. But you slept in the bed with them all night and you had to wake up to that. And then so you have that extra memory tacked on there that like, what if I feel like, what if I noticed that night? Like, what if I went
Yeah.
and I was able to get them help? But obviously not. Like they were
No, you'd
murdered.
have a lot of questions though. And it makes you wonder, why didn't they kill her when she was in the bed? They
I
must
didn't
have seen her
even think about that, actually. Oh,
because they
well,
wanted her dead, right?
yeah,
So
but
why didn't they kill her in the bed?
did she have the amulet of Orinth on her then?
I don't
She
know.
did because her mom gave it to her in this
Ah,
book and was like, this will protect you. And so I think maybe, I don't know, somehow it hit her or made her door lock. I don't know. I feel like the amulet of Orinth is probably the only thing
okay.
that saved her because it did have a word key in it. So it did
Okay.
serve as the protection.
Because I'm
But
like, because you could have even have taken her, even if you couldn't kill her. Why didn't you take her? So I'm like,
I don't
why was she
know.
just left alive if they wanted her dead? Like, I guess that confused
Yeah,
me
I
because I
didn't even
wrote that
think
down. I'm like,
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. If I had to guess, I would assume it was because she had the amulet, and that's
okay,
such a strong force of protection.
yeah, well, that would make sense.
Yeah. So the white slash creature, and you know, it triggered this huge emotional response with her. She, you know, puked and pissed her pants and shifted back and forth. And then freaking Rowan's comment after all of that emotional trauma to her is like, you failed. I didn't say to throw a magical tantrum.
Yeah.
What a douche.
Yeah, but did he not? I don't think he realized what she was up against, right? As far
No.
as she was concerned, there was this thing was just standing there, and she just freaked out. I guess that's probably how it looked to him.
Yeah, but
Like she's just standing there doing nothing, and she's just having a meltdown. Like,
yes, I get that, but also like he's smart and he's observant and he has to have realized that she's got throw up all over her. She's heaving on the ground. Like she smells like pee. I don't know. I feel like Rowan could have a tad bit of empathy. Just a little bit.
You're expecting a little much from a warrior, but yeah.
I guess. It
Was pretty funny. But at the same time, I think he was trying not to humiliate her either. Like, she was already humiliated. Like,
draw attention.
what do you say to that? If she doesn't want his pity, then
Yeah.
what would you have
No,
done,
never.
right?
Yes.
I think he understood that. Like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, I think she would have been more angry.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I think everything pissed me off about him. I think it was what she needed.
Yeah.
So, I'm not Celaena, unfortunately, but
No, I would have liked to have been comforted, but I kind of get the feeling that that would have made her more humiliated
yeah,
and
she's
more
like, get
angry.
off of me. Yeah.
Yeah, like don't touch me, like leave me alone. And I think that would have done away with all the work that he'd already done too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think maybe that was method to his madness. It's really hard to say.
Next big scene is whenever they're being chased by the skinwalkers.
Yes.
Which I actually really enjoyed reading about them. That they're creepy. I don't know. I just thought it was super cool. But that is the first big time that we see, they're running. She realizes they're not going to be able to, that they can get wet and wear the skin of fish. And so she tells Rowan to shift and jumps over. And that's the first time we really see her like fire erupt and burn everything. And weirdly, the thought that went through my head is you spent so much time focusing on how bad these things smell and their part skin. Like, how bad do they smell whenever they're burning? Like, random thought, but that definitely popped into my head.
You know what? I didn't even think about that, but now I'm like, oh my God, that would have made it so much worse.
Right? But I mean, also she caught
disgusting.
everything on fire around her, so maybe it just smelled like maybe
Fire.
it was, covered. Yeah, random.
Right? Yeah.
The next big scene was whenever Luca agreed to be, kidnapped and chained up, and Rowan froze the lake for Celaena to rescue him. Honestly, in my opinion, I didn't feel the weight of that scene. I feel like it should have been, and maybe it was just me in reading it, but I feel like it could have been more terrifying. I didn't ever really feel like she was in danger, considering there's this massive creature underneath the ice. I don't know how you felt about it.
I think that she doesn't, like, because Rowan and Luca they weren't afraid. I think that kept her calmer. But it makes you wonder just how powerful Rowan is if that didn't bother him in the slightest. And Luca is like a demi-fae, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have powers.
Yeah, but he was just like, he was tied up. Like, I don't know. I guess for me, I didn't feel like the creature was going to be much of a threat because no one reacted that way.
Yeah, same. And I think if honestly, I feel like if I were Luca, I'd be terrified. He's chained up and there's this massive, like, just goes to show how powerful Rowan is.
I think he trusted their powers to protect him. And so he kind of seems like he's a little chill too. Like, he's kind of like, oh, sure.
I really like him. I really like him.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. Like, he knew who she was and it didn't faze him. He still played the game of, okay, well, I'll call you this. That was something too. Why are they always changing her name?
But did you realize she went by Aelintia while she was there? And that is the name that Nehemia gave her?
Yeah, but again, like, no one knew who Celaena was there, so why did they change her name?
Because, well, I don't know, actually. She was able to choose her name. So I think Rowan gave her the space whenever they were like, hi, I'm Emrys. And she chose Aelintia, which I actually really liked. Because I think she is, at this point in time, she's not ready to be Aelin. Like, that's not going to happen, even though Rowan's calling her Aelin. And I think she knows that she's outgrown Celaena. Like, she is still Celaena in her mind. But, like, I don't know. Who all knows that Celaena Sardathian is the name of... Because now... Well, actually, I guess whenever she was in Otterland, she was going by Lillian still, wasn't she?
That's what I mean. She changes her name a lot.
Yeah, she does. She's got a lot of names. She'll gather more, too. Just wait.
I'm like, wow.
Well, I mean, it's more of a, like, you know how in Game of Thrones, how Daenerys, like, collects names? It's more of that. It becomes more, like, exciting than... Because, like, right now, she's already Witch Killer. So there's just a bunch of little fun things. But I didn't mind her choosing Aelintia. I thought it was a nice way to keep Nehemia alive, other than all the other times that she's popping into her head, calling her a coward and everything, because it references that like a ton throughout this book as well.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah. So in the scene with the creature under the lake, she gets Goldrin in the ring, which I really enjoyed that. And
I did too.
Goodness, because, it was able to get Rowan out of all of his entrapments. But then it ends off that section with us learning about Rowan's mate and the fact that she had been murdered and she was pregnant with his baby. So that was really sad. We get to see some of his trauma finally.
Yeah. Well, it makes you understand just why he's so closed off.
Yeah.
Cold. Yeah, that was a little heartbreaking, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it
It was a little
was.
heartbreaking.
I mean, you don't really look at him as a human, I guess, throughout the thing, because he doesn't allow you to see him that way. So it was nice. That was the first little like chip away of him like letting his guard down, and it was so sad.
I know. This book really, it gave me I got all the feels from this one. I giggled, I got teared up, like I was
Yeah,
ready to
I
fight.
teared
Like
up.
it was, yeah, this is good.
I
It was
teared
good.
up a lot in this book. Do you have anything else on the first section of them?
No, not really. Like I said, it was her sections, even though they were really good, were probably my least favorite
Yeah,
parts of the book because I feel like her character growth really didn't happen until the last
the very
part
end.
of the book. And I understand that we had to watch her grief and kind of go through what she was going through. And I really enjoyed watching her learn to use her powers though. And
Yeah,
I liked the part where she's sneaking out to go like fight herself with her magic, and
yeah,
they've never seen anyone do that before. I thought
yeah.
that was really cool.
It was.
Like I was like, ooh, nice.
She's
Like she's
finally
doing
stepping
things
up
differently.
and doing what, we know Celaena Sardathian to have done. Like she's always been the best of the best.
Yeah.
It's about
Yeah,
her.
it was different because she's having to now shed the assassin and moving to being a fae, like to being who she is. And I think she's realizing now she's gonna have to take her throne back, right? To be able to do what she's gonna do, she's gotta do it. And it's gonna make her wonder if Nehemia, if she knew about her, whether she thought that's what she was supposed to do, like she was supposed to go step back into who she was.
I mean, I don't think there's any way that Nehemia didn't know who she was, but I don't know
Yeah,
that she knows that at this point.
that's what I mean, but I'm wondering if Nehemia's end goal was for her not to necessarily save her kingdom, but to step back into her role
Oh,
as being queen to save everybody.
yeah. I mean,
Like, I wonder if the picture was bigger. That was kind of what I was thinking when I was writing stuff
for
down. I'm like, I
sure.
wonder if Nehemia's plan was actually much broader than what
Yeah,
Aelin knows at this point.
for sure. Okay, so then now we'll shift to the Otterlin Rifthold area, and
Let's do that.
Adian walks in, and all cocky and looking exactly like Celaena. And then we shortly realize that he's not attending his parties. Chaol starts following him around,
Yes.
mentions, his black ring, and Adian's like, what do you know about this? I thought it
Yes.
was really awesome that Adian's Fae lineage had allowed him to smell something off in the ring, and that he was bold enough to get a replica. Like, how dangerous of a game to sit here these years and pretend that you're under the king's thrall whenever really you're just doing you and playing this game? Like,
Yep.
I had a lot of respect for Adian in this book.
I did as well. Really, the parts for me about him were when he thought that there was a chance she was alive still, like his favorite person in the world,
Yeah.
and you watch him kind of like glow almost. You know what I mean? It's like sunshine's hitting his face. That's kind of what it felt like. He's like, oh, I was like, oh, that's so adorable.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, he's not only the last of her family that's alive, or his family that's alive, but like that's basically his sister from childhood.
Yeah.
They grew up together. They used to sneak in and sleep in each other's rooms and hang out. In reading this, I was wondering, is it naive for blindly following and having all of this faith in Aelin after not seeing her in over a decade? But I honestly think that their bond was so deep and he knew her so well, like that was his person.
Yeah.
I don't think people change who they are. They just go through trash living in, times like this. So
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. I think, like, did he know that she was Celaena the assassin? Like,
he still doesn't know. I mean, I think
no, I,
maybe Chaol, because they agreed, he was about to kill Chaol, and then he shouts out, Aelin's alive. And I think throughout them kind of forming their alliance and, communicating and all of that, I think it actually did come out to light that she was the king's champion.
yeah, because I thought that I heard that because he was like, well, you sent her there. Like,
Yeah.
so he obviously understood the King's Champion must have been, like, I think he must have put it together. And I think when you realize that she is what she was doing as the assassin, because he must have been aware of that, and she's stepping into her fae, like, I think I would Yeah, I would bend the knee too. And that's his queen anyway. Like you said, that's his queen. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if like you trust that, you believe in that. That's a fundamental part of who you
Yes.
are.
Absolutely. So after Dorian and, Aedion, they're down in the tunnels and they're talking, or not Dorian, and then Dorian overhears Chaol and Aedion speaking about all of the stuff that he should have been privy to, right? Like his father
Yeah.
and the word keys and everything, and he gets mad and lets it. Now Aedion knows he has magic too, so everyone's learning everybody's secrets at this point.
Yeah.
And then we officially meet Sorsha in this section.
Yeah.
Where Dorian is intentionally training to go get little minor injuries to go see her, and I thought that was really cute.
I thought it was adorable. Like he is almost like that dorky kid who's like trying to get the popular girl's attention when really it's the opposite way around. He's like I thought that was really dorky and really cute.
Yeah, I agree. One thing too that I absolutely loved was, after one of their first meetings, he not only remembered her name, but he sent her the note and he was like, "What's the name of your village? I want to add it to my own personal map of the continent." I love that he's creating his own personal map because his father wiped them all out. So
Yep.
that was a little thing that I had written down that I absolutely loved. But after that, his magic exploded in front of her, and she not only covered for him, but then
Yeah.
also, created a tonic to keep him safe. And I really, really enjoyed it.
Well, she had a thing for him beforehand,
Yeah.
didn't
It
she?
said she was
Like
in love with him for 6 years. Can you
yeah, like
imagine?
that was see, I would if that had been me and that was my crush, I totally would have done the same
Yeah.
thing.
Well, she's been keeping his secrets for this whole time too. She's the one that healed them the night that they went down in the tunnel, and so she knows a lot, and she's been able to keep it all, I guess, secret for him. And I don't know, they're sweet. Yeah, they're sweet. I
I
really
really
liked them.
I enjoyed that as well, but you can tell, like again, like we're introduced to somebody that we know he can't be with on a permanent basis because of
Okay.
who he is. And I think that's really tragic. Because even let's say the end didn't happen, but there's no future for them. Not
Mhm.
unless he abdicates his crown.
But Dorian always wants what Dorian can't have, Dorian doesn't
God,
want to marry a high lady who his father approves of. Like, that's just not who he is.
I know, but that's how it is.
I
Like he's not
know.
his reality.
He's
It's
a
like,
little
oh my
defiant.
god.
I completely relate.
Yeah. I really felt like Dorian is in a transition period right now with like his friendship with Chaol is fractured after him not saying anything. But at the same time, I understand why Chaol kept his mouth shut because the more people that know about this, the more people he's putting in danger. And
Absolutely.
Chaol is all about protection, and keeping quiet meant Dorian had plausible deniability of not knowing any of this stuff.
Right.
But Dorian, I don't know. Dorian, it's almost like he's like, man, well, I don't care. You didn't tell me, and now we're not friends. And I'm like, it's like you don't know who your friend is. He's trying to protect you. And I know you feel like you don't need protecting, but you're a
But
dumbass.
also
I'm sorry.
there also comes the line of like, you should be able to talk to me, and then you should also in turn trust that I would keep my mouth shut and we could work together as a team. So I understand Dorian's perspective. I also understand Chaol's. It's just a miscommunication and a line of like, they're both Chaol's doing what he thinks is right. And Dorian is like, well, why don't you trust me to be doing that too?
I know, but I don't think this is really about that. I think that Chaol is well aware that if the king finds out that Dorian has magic, that Dorian knows anything about what's really going on, I don't think he'd hesitate in having him assassinated. So I think Chaol's thinking, dude, I don't think you get who your dad is, man. Like, there is a good chance that if he finds out that you know anything, you're gonna.
What the king?
Because he has another heir, right? He's got another son,
Yeah,
and
he
he's
does.
just like his dad. He would be great for the crown.
Oh,
And that's where I would be thinking is I'm protecting you from yourself, you moron.
yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Next thing that happens, let's see, is Ren Alsbrook, which he's a lord or whatever on his own, but he is being chased by these soldiers that Chaol does not recognize in black tunics with wyverns on them. I don't know if it ever said it or if I missed it, but like, who are these guys?
They don't say because they're not Kingsguard because he's like, I know everybody.
Yeah, and they
They
don't
weren't.
mention, a bad smell or anything, so they're not Vogue. They don't mention rings and collars, which they absolutely do any single time somebody has one. So that was one. I don't know.
I wondered if they were another assassin group because they obviously like would you know like the Assassin's Guild? Would you know everyone that works for the Assassin's Guild? Like, did he pay Arabin to
I
like did the king pay Arabin to like I don't know.
don't
Like
think
I had
Yeah, I don't
questions
think that
me.
there are that many in the Assassin's Guild. Like the numbers that they were saying of these, and not only that, I think that if it were assassins, I don't think they would be coming out all haughty in the streets. I think they would just take care of Rin quietly, you know? Well, I don't think
But
that
then maybe the king wanted some noise to go with it. Like, we don't
maybe.
know what
I mean,
I don't.
he's also planning, a war. He's attacking in Wendland.
Yeah.
He's doing all of these things, so he's probably been, behind the scenes gathering allies.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I'm
It's
sure it comes to light throughout the series where they're from or who they are. I can't remember.
well,
So,
I haven't, like, this is my first read through
yeah.
now, so I'm like, I don't know.
Okay,
I
yeah,
don't know.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss them stating
No.
it. So,
I don't think you did it all, because I would have written it down,
okay.
because like I wrote some of the weirdest things down. Like the one thing about, like, when we were talking about the last section, like the flatbread that she said she's sick of eating. I'm like, I kind of want that now.
The tea, what is it? It starts with the T, right? I don't
It's
remember.
called
Peg,
Tegya.
yeah,
Tegya bread.
yeah.
Yeah, Tegya bread. I'm like, 'cause that was the first thing I wrote down. I'm like, I'm hungry.
Well, I'll take some. I want some of that wine too.
Oh yeah. So I wrote the weirdest stuff down. So no, I don't think you missed it.
Okay, cool. All right, so as far as Aelin, I really think that this section was very, very pivotal in Chaol's character growth
Yeah.
because Aelin introduces the concept of loyalty as rebellion instead of as submission.
Yeah.
And I think that he kind of really reframes what it means to serve. And I don't think that Chaol ever even thought that a possibility because he is, I'm going to do my job. And my job is to serve the king and whatever he tells me to do. So I think that their little alliance that they formed was very important for Chaol.
Yeah. Well, he's finally realizing that what the king is doing is wrong too. Like it's like he trusted what he was being told until he saw that what he was being told was a lie. And that,
Mhm.
can you imagine what that must do to your psyche to know that you were a part of something so heinous
Right?
and that you didn't question any of these things before? Like, I think I would die inside a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would die inside a
Because
little bit.
you've been the not on just on the bad side, but you've been the bad guy without even
Yeah,
being
you've been.
aware of it.
I know. I'm like, but could you imagine how Kale must feel now knowing that? And he's trying to do the right thing, but again, he doesn't. Like, so he was like, so what side are you going to pick?
Yeah. He's stuck between his loyalty to the crown slash
For
his
Dorian.
job, which is what I really think it is, and Dorian, and his loyalty to, this new cause and Aelin and Adian.
And his own, where he's from too, right? Like,
Yeah.
his loyalties are,
They're
who do
split
you
all over.
choose in that? Yeah.
So does his like inability to pick a side, does it make you sympathize with him or did it make him a frustrating character to read?
No, because I wouldn't know what to do either.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I think he wants to save as many lives as he can, but he still has allegiances to his people, to Dorian, because I think it's mostly about Dorian.
Yeah, that's his
But
person.
I would be so fractured. In the end, I would choose the greater good of everybody. But I would hope that my best friend and my king would
Would
be on that same side,
also,
because
yes. Yeah.
he can't decide that for Dorian.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be having a rough time if I was. And Chaos seems to be holding on pretty well. So no, he didn't frustrate me at all. I don't know why people give him such a hard
Well,
time, because I think
on my
he's doing.
first read through, I didn't pick up on all of these like positive things that he was doing. And it was so frustrating for me. I'm like, come on, dude. But like, really, you have to get there at the right time. You can't just be like, well, if I'm not on this side, you'll die. Like the king will kill you.
Yeah.
So I was really comparing characters a lot in this and like trying to like I was thinking I'm like, well, what if this person was in this person's shoes or whatever, and like thinking about a lot of in that light. And I feel like too, Chaol's inability to choose like mirrors Celaena's own avoidance a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're both like paralyzed by not wanting to take that step.
It's making the wrong choice. Could you imagine deciding what you're going to do and being wrong?
Yeah.
Like,
Or
Kale is
dying.
info gathering right now.
So
Yeah.
you don't have
Yeah,
everything in
then you
order
do nothing.
before you make that decision. You have to get everything in order.
Yeah, well, you need all the information, and I think that's why he's putting his life on the line, going to meet him with like the rebels, right? Like
Yeah.
to go and collect information and give over. He's already risking his life, and he's
Yeah.
doing that because he wants to know what's right. And I really felt for him, and I didn't. I try not to look online about what people are saying.
Don't do it.
But I did.
You'll spoil
Like,
stuff.
I know. Yeah, I went to, because I wanted to say that I'd read the book, right, and I did have a quick look at the reviews, and I'm like, this hate for Chaol has to stop. I'm going to start a campaign of stop hating on my Chaol.
Yeah, I'm really, really, really appreciating him. So no, I didn't dislike him. He just
No.
was not one of my favorites, and like
No.
I'm really appreciating him and enjoying him on this one.
Good. I'm
So
glad you came on
I mean,
board.
I am still a Dorian girly. Do not get me wrong. He's my man, but I do really, really like Hale too.
Yeah. I get the Dorian thing, I really do, but right now he's still coming across as a little bratty to me, I guess. He hasn't stepped forward into the manness yet that I
Right.
need.
And we see a little bit of the transition of that at the end of the book, like that he's ready
Yeah.
to make that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. Like,
So
I would say the end of the book, if I wasn't already Team Chaol, I probably would have been Team Dorian by that
yeah.
point.
So the last thing that I had written down on this is that I realized Chaol's inner conflict in this section, or actually really throughout this whole series, is a very important thing in this book. I feel like that everybody's going to have to face, and that is, are you going to serve people or
Yep.
ideals or power? And so
Yep.
I think everybody at this point is trying to make that decision, and
Yep.
if they have already made that decision, take the right steps to get to that.
Well, yeah, because the king has created the world the king has created is absolutely terrifying. How do you work against that when he's cut the magic and he has access to things that no one else has access to? Like
Absolutely.
that is terrifying. So no, you can't make a mistake now.
No.
You have to know exactly what you're up against, who's on your side, and what you can do about it.
Right.
Because it sounds as though the king has a massive freaking army,
Yes.
and we already know about like the witches and the wyverns, but that no one knows the depth of all the fingers of the pies the king has right now.
Absolutely. Yep. And you have to adapt. You can't just sit there and refuse to adapt because you're gonna die either way. Or you're gonna die if you
Exactly.
don't, with all of this going on. So that is the last I had on this part one section. I think
Yeah, I know.
it ends with, I don't know, I think the Ren soldier-ish area. So move on to the witches.
Let's do it. It's my favorite part.
I love it. Manon is introduced, and she's introduced in a way where she's, going to murder this guy. They're trying to introduce her in this brutal way, I think, before they, start to show her depth. And then after that, it dives into a little bit of the history, the clans, how much their numbers have dwindled. And, they're introduced to the idea that they're going to have wyverns. They're going to get mounts. They're going to choose them. And the first really big thing that I had written down was whenever they're going to choose their mounts, Iskra shoving Manon into the pit, which, oh my gosh, my heart was beating so fast.
I messaged you. I'm like, Jesus. Like, I'd moved forward on my chair. So I was sitting in my big comfy chair, and I'm like, this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, did it die?
It was wild. And I don't know, seeing the difference in the way that Titus looked at her and the way that Abraxas looked at her, 100% think she made the right call. But I love Abraxas so much that I actually teared up during that scene. Like, I didn't realize how much he was just like, no. Like, he was not just defending himself. He was defending her. He did not have to step in, and he did. And I loved it. Oh, I loved it.
Me too. Someone mentions like their wyvern talk to them.
Yeah.
And she's like, they can't talk to you. And I'm like, but are they?
Yeah.
Are
So
they?
I had made a note about that in there. It was Petra, after all of that, she's coming and she's trying to form an alliance with Manon of sorts. And she mentions that her wyvern Keely can talk to her. And I had made a note of, do you think that they all can, or do you think that certain bonds are stronger?
You know what? I think they start out, maybe it has to build, like the trust has to build. The wyvern has to allow that person in, because I kind of felt like Manon kind of had it but couldn't hear it yet. Like she could feel it, but she couldn't really, because she was telling him things like, you have to do this, and he understood. And he's like, he's not happy about it, but he understood. And I think it's not going to be long, because I think her wyvern was abused for so long as a bait wyvern that I think he's having trouble opening up a little bit. And I think I think we're going to start seeing that he's going to start communicating. Like, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's up to the wyvern. It's not if they let them in like that.
Yeah. So you think?
I don't know, right?
She literally spoke to her, and so as opposed to like they can understand each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm hoping it's that the wyvern, okay, you have chosen me as your mount, but have they trusted the human yet? You know what I mean? I'm hoping that's what it is because I'm really freaking excited to
Well, yeah,
see people talking to her.
being in Fourth Wing and, hearing Taryn and Andarna talk, it's like, all right, come on, let me hear you.
Yeah, come on. I made a little dragon necklace. I'm like, this is, you know what? I like the wyverns more in this. I do.
Really?
I don't know. It feels a little more raw.
I think that you get the connection more. I don't know. I feel like they're so much more superior in Fourth Wing in the Empyrean, and I think that they're a little bit more on the same level here.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying that. I'm really enjoying that.
Yes, and another random little note is I love how much Abraxas loves flowers. He was all trapped underneath for so long, and he's like, "No, I'm just a little puppy rolling around in the flowers."
I know, she's like, really? Like she's trying to get to eat. He's like snuffling in the fire. I thought that was freaking adorable.
Me too.
Absolutely.
I love Abraxas so much. Love him.
I
Love
do
him.
too. Like
Next thing I wrote down is whenever they first flew, I actually teared up whenever they're Astrian and they're so free. They haven't flown in over a decade.
because I wrote that, I was like, the joy of flying. Like my heart absolutely melted.
Yeah,
Because he wouldn't.
It's been over a decade, and not only that, they flew on brooms, and now they have this powerful, amazing beast that is like bonded to them, and like, oh gosh, to be back better than ever before, like, oh, that's got to be such an amazing just release. I loved it.
Yeah. I did too. The part where we're talking about right now was probably my favorite part in the whole book.
Yeah.
My favorite, because I did little hearts around it too.
Yeah.
And it was like little hearts.
I love the witches. And honestly, on my first go through, I mean, obviously, once the Wyverns were introduced and, she was pushed into the pit and it started to really pick up, I was into it. But the first couple chapters with the history, like, I was into it, but I wasn't that into it. Actually, I feel like I was just impatient for the whole book to start in this book in particular. Like with Aelin's storyline and everything, it took a little bit. I mean, obviously I was into it, but I wanted it to be a little bit faster paced, but I didn't this time. This was perfect. I loved it.
Yeah. Well, you would think that I would have known that there was a dragon, like there were wyverns in it from the fact that there's a wyvern on the cover. And I'm like, how did I not know this? And my husband's like, you know that there's like a picture of a little dragon on the here, right?
Mine it's on the bottom though. In the reflection, the top I think is Rowan.
Yeah, I think it's like a bird, right?
Yeah, it looks like a hawk maybe. But yeah, I didn't notice it. Then the reflection in the wagon.
I'm like, he's like, it's right on the cover, Stacey. How did you know?
Well, obviously I pay attention to what's inside the book more.
I was like, and I felt like it was like a dope moment. Like, yeah.
I really think that the wyverns or wyverns, how do you say it?
I say wyverns. I don't know.
Wyverns.
I didn't listen to the audiobook. I read it, so I don't know. Problem.
I read most of it. I had the audiobook on for some chapters, but I guess I didn't really pay attention.
No, I guess we'll have to look into that. But I thought it was
wyvern. Either way. We'll just go with, you're from, England/Canada and I'm from America, so we got both.
Yeah, say however you want. Wyvern for me. I think Fourth Wing said wyvern, didn't they? If I listened to the audiobook of that one, I think that's where I got that from.
Yeah, I don't think I did the audio of that one either. So, and I can go back and listen, but for now, I'll just whatever comes out comes out. But I think that the wyverns or wyverns symbolize loyalty and freedom, which I don't think at this point in the book Manon knows how much she actually desires that. So I really enjoyed that, and I also really enjoyed her choosing, the weak mount, because that kind of was our first crack in her armor. Like they're, portraying her as this totally brutal witch. And that was like a little bit of compassion mixed with a little bit of defiance towards, that what they're supposed to be obedience, brutality, and what is the other one? 3 things. Discipline, obedience, and brutality, I think. So that was kind of going against that to choose him.
Yeah, but at the same time, he kind of kicked Titus's ass.
Like he did, right? So he earned that, right? But at the same time, her grandma's like, I can't believe you did this. You shame me and whatever.
But she proved her wrong. She proved her wrong now.
I cannot stand her grandma.
No, I can't either. And I kind of, I'm jumping ahead now, but
I know it's been really hard for me to pull back and just we're almost done. So we're almost done with part 1 of this, and then I stuck with the witches jumping into part 2. So we can still talk about whatever you want. Let's just say I only had one more bullet point on this, so let's just say we'll go to part 2 with the witches, so you can speak freely.
Okay. But the part where the witch that they caught that she had to kill was saying all these things to her, and I was like, please just turn around and cut your grandmother's head off. Just
right. Well, It makes you wonder, is this terrible violence and brutality, is it in their nurture, not their nature, right?
Yes.
But they're
That's
they're bred and raised in all of this to believe that it's in their nature. So I
yeah.
really enjoy starting to be able to see through the cracks.
Yeah. Well, I wondered if it was because of this curse business, right? That they're being taught to be this way because they want the curse broken so bad, opposed to treating them the way they should be treating them. Like, that's kind of how I felt about it. And I spent that end part of that book, I'm like, just turn around and cut her head off. Just do
Right.
it. Yeah,
There's
just
no
do
way
it.
though. She would die too. There are the other matrons there, and
Yeah, I
it's
know.
also it's the same as the other storylines. Like if you're gonna step up and defy the person in charge, then you've got to do it at the right time.
Yeah, I know, but I was just, yeah, I don't like her grandmother either.
Well, someone
And for
died.
me, she was the Arrowbin of this book.
Yeah, yeah.
She was my most hated
Oh
person.
yeah, Arobin wasn't really in this book, was he?
No, no.
Well, I don't know that the grandmother was the most hated person. I really hate the king in this book.
Well, I do as well, but I kind of feel like the grandmother, I don't know. There's just something I really can't stand. Like, the king
Yeah,
is not pretending to be anything he ain't. Whereas, I don't know.
yeah, agreed. So, part two starts with the witches, where Manon goes to, she's gonna fix Abraxas up, and she goes to the Stygian spider
Yep.
to steal the spider silk. And I found it honestly so anticlimactic.
I did too.
Did you?
Yeah,
I
I was like,
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool that she's like, "Oh yeah, we're sisters and whatever, whatever." But then it's just like, "Meh." Like,
yeah.
what?
It
That's
really,
supposed to. You're.
I
Go
don't know.
ahead.
I was going to say, it felt like she could have had more. There could have been a fight at least, or, they tried to protect themselves, but it was just over.
Right. It's supposed to.
Like,
You
wow,
are
that
supposed
was,
to have to pay your years and your hopes and your dreams and all of this to get this spider silk, and you just knocked it off a cliff, and now you have so much. Like, I don't know. I thought that
yeah.
that should have been better, but that's okay.
I know.
Abraxas has new wings, and they sparkle.
Yeah, I know. I
Next
know. I
up
kind of love that.
in the witches is the war games. How did you feel about those? You enjoyed them?
That was, yeah, I did. I really did. Like I said, the witch parts were my favorite parts
Yes.
of the whole book. So I really enjoyed that. But we knew she was going to win. We knew she
Yeah, we
was going to
did.
be like,
But did we know that Isra was going to order her wyvern to kill Keely? Because that got me.
yeah, no, I don't know what that was about. Like,
Isra's just blood
I don't
hungry.
know.
But I mean, we really see that, Manon risks her life by jumping off of
Yeah.
Abraxas to jump onto another one's back, which is she going to allow her to? That's a question too, because these are not
Yeah.
docile
Oh,
beasts.
yeah. But Abraxas wanted her to do that, and he communicated that to
Yeah.
her, right? He's like, "Come on, we can." But he's full of compassion. Like, he's a wyvern. He's
He's
full
a
of
big, he's a
compassion. He's
sweet
like, "Oh,
baby.
I know. I love him. I love him."
Me too. He's one of my favorite characters, honestly, in this whole series. Like, he's fantastic.
Well, he's firm favorite of mine now.
Yeah. So she obviously wins Wing Leader or Wing Leader. Is that the
Yeah,
title?
I think that's what they called her. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, they was setting up for her to do that. I think it would have been weird if someone else won, but yeah. Then
Yeah.
her gift is kill this Kraken and get a new cloak, and we see that she hesitates, that she doesn't want to do
No.
that, and she only does it because she feels like it's her duty. But
She
we
doesn't
also
want to be in trouble because I think
yeah, from her grandmother. By
yeah,
opening
because
the heart.
obviously she knows that that's dangerous.
Yes. And then
So dangerous.
we also see, a tad bit of remorse at the end when she's like, I really wish I knew her name. I wish I knew whose cloak I was wearing. I don't know. I really am enjoying Manon becoming more human, I guess.
But is that because of the wyvern? Like, that was something I wrote down. Is that because of her connection now to something else? Is he kind of humanizing her a little bit?
I
Like, is
don't
he
know. That
leeching
is a
in
really
there a
good
bit?
thought, though. I didn't think about that. I feel like witches are monsters and victims. And I feel like
Yeah.
Manon is kind of standing on the crossroads of those two identities. And maybe
Yes.
her wyvern did, help veer her towards the other side a little bit. Her grandma rules with, the old traditions of the blue bloods,
Yeah.
of their kind. And she's not a good person. So it'll be really interesting to see Manon's arc of whether she'll break out of that or not.
I'm hoping she does because I'd really like to see the joining of forces here against the king. That's kind of where I'm like, I'm hoping for this. I'm hoping that because like we can see her humanity is kind of peeking through now, that she's gonna want to do the right thing. Like I'm hoping anyway.
I agree. I mean, you don't have to inherit your world. You can rebuild it.
Yes. Like, why can't everybody be free to be who they are without all the killing?
It's gonna take a lot of work.
Ugh. Someone's got to do it though.
Absolutely.
Because the king's just making it worse.
Okay, so we end the book on them with, we learned that the 13 will be going to Morath to serve the Duke.
Yes.
That's the end of the witch chapters. And then...
Yes.
And do you have anything else on the witches?
I think you covered all my notes. I think you covered everything. Yeah, I think you covered everything.
Awesome. Okay, and then we will jump now back to Wendlyn, Dornell, Aelin, Rowan area. Where Aelin starts off this section, she's still not quite ready to accept her power and her role as queen. And she mentioned she views her crown as another set of shackles. And I think in every single podcast that we've talked about her desire to be free, because she's never been free. So I don't know. I feel like I would view it the same way. But it's also... Go ahead.
But do you think she's always viewed it that way? Like the throne killed her parents and it's shackles? Or do you think that she just feels that way now because she's already been shackled? The throne is just another set of shackles. Like, do you think this has been an ongoing theme for her since childhood? Or do you think it's just a now thing that she's realizing that?
Didn't really... That's a good question. I think that there would have been parts of the queenhood, whatever that word is, that she would have fought against. Like, she would have obviously wanted to do it in her own way, but she had so much respect and such a close bond with her parents. I don't think that she would have outright refused it or not wanted to do it. But she had to shed her identity, live in secret, and be a slave, figuratively and literally. It's got to be really hard to want to step back into that. But also, it's a little selfish of her to see the way that the world is under this king and know that you have the power to change life for everybody, and then just be like, I don't want to be shackled with that responsibility.
Yes, I can see where you're coming from, but at the same time, does Aelin even think that she has the power to say she steps into the role? She may fail.
Yeah, there's always that.
Did she really feel like she could really save everybody? Because she's just one girl. As far as she's concerned, she's not a queen. She's not a princess.
She just has the name.
An assassin. She had one job to do. Like, she's just one little person. I don't know. I think she's scared. I think she's scared of... Imagine stepping into that role and failing and people still die. Yeah, if you don't do that,
it all goes. You have to do it at the right time. You have to get everything in order, but you got to start taking steps. You can't just stand idly by and hope that you don't have to do it. Things are going to keep getting worse and worse.
I know. I really feel for her because I can really, as a person, I could understand that her parents died being king and queen. They died in their beds. Like, what makes Celaena, or Aelin, I don't know who to call her right now.
She's kind of both in this book.
Yeah, like, how do you reconcile that they couldn't keep themselves alive? How is she supposed to keep herself alive and anybody else? Like, I think I'd be terrified. And she's still got the thing rolling in her head, you're a coward. Well, that's got to be, like, hitting her psyche so freaking hard right now. Like, I don't know. I'm at this point, at the end of this book, my heart was broken wide open for her.
Yeah.
Because she's got some really tough choices to make now. And people are going to die. Regardless of what choice she makes, people are still going to die. And that's a lot to weigh on a conscience.
It is.
Because she was always doing the killing. Oh, like, I don't know. It's a switch for me. I can really feel it.
Big shift. It's big life altering in the biggest way.
She's still just really a kid. She's still a teenager.
I know. She's 19 in this book, right?
Yeah, my daughter's like right now moving into a dorm room. You know what I mean? And she has to like fate of the world, man.
Right.
I feel for her, I really do.
So then we see her at the celebration where, she's tasked with keeping these 3 fires burning evenly. And I really enjoyed that Rowan was, sitting next to her, giving her words of encouragement. That was sweet. But then she burns out. And Rowan runs her back, and he made a comment. He said that wasn't real burnout. She just allowed it to happen. And I think that
Yeah.
that scared her because she's been so terrified that her magic well doesn't have a bottom. She doesn't want to have the responsibility of having as much power as she does. So I think she was a little scared whenever he told her that wasn't the bottom at all.
That would have freaked me out.
Right?
That would have totally freaked me out. Well, because she's been living in a place where her magic had been squashed, and that took away the responsibility for her.
Yes.
Well, I don't have to deal with that now because I can't access it
I
anyway.
can't even,
Plus,
yeah. She wants to have
Yeah.
a limit. She wants a cap on that for sure.
Yeah.
After
get it.
that, Rowan sees her back, something she always tries to hide from people. And he actually got so upset that he had to fly off. And I think that was a huge moment for him because, oh my gosh, everything starts clicking into place. Like, first of all, he's been an asshole to her. But then he even made the comment that he was going to whip her. And she was like, I will skin you alive if you ever
Yeah.
bring a whip to me. And like, I think all the puzzle pieces started clicking into place for him. And,
Yeah.
and he was like, I'm going to do better. And that was a huge turning point in their relationship.
Yeah. She hadn't been honest up until that point either. Like, she wasn't really giving him anything.
Well, nothing.
Nothing.
Neither one of them were. They were just hiding behind their fortress of a wall that, not willing to be vulnerable. Both of them.
Can't blame either of them though.
No.
Because she wasn't exactly nice to him either.
No, she wasn't.
Like, she's kind of a douchebag.
He really was. So then we see him go back and, carry her into his room and was like, you're staying here from now on. And that's when they really start to open up. She tells him, the story of Lady Marian, who she never even told Chaol or anybody else.
I know. You know what? That part of the book, that I actually cried. Like, I had to close the book and just walk away for a minute. Yeah, I had tears streaming down my face. This woman, like Lady Marian, protected her with her life, knowing that she'd never see her family again because she was important. Getting her away was the most important thing. And I'm going again.
Yeah, well, she is the brightness in the future. Like, there's all of this evil and, the King of Aelin, and Celaena is the hope. She represents hope.
Yeah.
And that really rallies people, and they need that. And so Lady Marian making that sacrifice was
beautifully
so
heartbreaking,
selfless and perfect. And I understand the shame and the weight that Celaena carries around with her because has been hiding. It's been, and right, she had to, but now we're at this place where it's been this long. She has a moment that she can step into these shoes that she should be filling, and she is not doing it as quickly or as, with as much acceptance as she should be doing. So that probably weighs on her a lot to just have that nagging in the back of her head still.
But yeah, but if you think about that, like, Marian gave her life for her to live. Now, if she dies, her sacrifice would have been for nothing. So that would have been terrifying too.
Yeah. And, Lady Marian has a daughter too that's about Celaena's age. So, like, she lost a mother. And where is a lead? Like, it's mentioned that, and, like, that was interesting.
Yeah, like, I'm trying really hard not to
tear
wear
up.
makeup. It's hard, man. But yeah, that was for me, that really humanized Aelin. Like, really, because that's something she's had to carry, that she feels responsible for that life.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, and that was probably the first life she took, really. If you think about it in the way that Celaena's had worked, that would have been the first life that ended because of her.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So they start opening up, and I think that Celaena really needed to get that weight off of her chest, and then B, to be able to breathe because of that. So that's when we really see her. That's when she goes and she starts practicing on her own, and she really accepts, this is my role and I need to own it. I need to step into it.
Yeah, this is where, for me, this is where I can feel her now. Like, her presence as a really badass MC it's here now. She's stepping. And that really excited me. And I very nearly picked up the next book right after I was done. And I'm like, nope, don't do it. It was so hard. I set my chapters, and I'm like, I could just have a look at page, like, 1. And I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Had to move it out of my line of sight because I was so ready to dive right in.
I am so excited. So Kingdom of Ash, I think, will always be my favorite because it ties everything up, Queen
Good.
of Shadows, this next book it is a masterpiece. It's so good. It's my favorite. It's so, 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 so good. So I hope that you appreciate and enjoy it as much as I do. It is my favorite.
I'm so excited. Like I had goosebumps erupt on me, and I'm like, I've got some time. Like I could just have a little look, see,
Just a
read, just a
little
little
bit.
peek.
No, you wouldn't
Yeah,
be
but
able to stop. And I wouldn't let
I
myself
wouldn't
read
have
either because I need to know exactly where we end for this so that I don't,
exactly.
because I have read it. So I
Yeah,
don't want any spoilers, you know.
exactly. And I know they do like the excerpt in the book, right? And I'm like, what? It's in here.
Why
I
did
could
you read
just. I'm
it?
like, no, I
Okay,
didn't.
okay,
I
okay.
had to stop myself. I had to stop myself because I didn't want to get mixed up.
Right. Yeah, I didn't either. Same reason. So, but hey,
Oh,
after this, you could go read it.
I'm go. Oh no, that is the plan. That is the plan. I
Don't
already
you?
have it ready to go.
I have to go to a 5-year-old birthday party, but I will be reading it tonight.
Well, my daughter's moving into a dorm room today, and she's already doing her packing. So I've got time between we leaving. So I'm just gonna sit and read.
Yeah,
There's no point doing
perfect.
anything else.
Perfect.
My excuse.
Okay, next thing that happens in this one is they go and they find the host of all of the soldiers and the 3 creatures in the cave, and Rowan flies in and sees Narok in there, torturing a female. And it ends up being the same one from the Barrows, and
Yeah,
he has her scent. And that is
yeah,
wild to me, but I really enjoyed that she was able to think on her feet and they've come up with a way to get the skinwalkers to chase and take care of that problem for her.
yeah. She is very fast on her feet with the way her mind works, but she's got the assassin's training. She's stepping into her like her fey powers. I don't know.
Yes.
I could feel it. Like the thrum of her energy was absolutely amazing during this part.
Yes, it was. The whole end of this, like from here on out through this book, I'm like just cheering her on. Like, let's go. And then she chooses to stay and fight to whatever end with Rowan, which was sweet. And then okay, so one thing, and I actually asked this question in the book, but I was like, ooh, that's a really good question. It was, we learned that the creatures are Valg princes of their realm. And
Yeah.
she was like, does the king think that he's more powerful? Or is he just dumb to think that he can control these creatures?
I think he's dumb.
You think he's dumb?
I think he's dumb. I think he honestly believes that these creatures are just going to keep doing his bidding. And I think that he's going to find that as soon as they're strong enough and there's more of them, that they're going to turn on him because that's what those kind of things do. He's an idiot. He's an idiot if he thinks he can keep this going much freaking longer.
Yeah. Like,
What a moron.
how are you more powerful than the Dark Lords and, literally like demon people?
And you know what? Maybe it would be a different matter if he had all the word keys at this point, but he doesn't. Like, he's really arrogant. I'm sorry, but he is so arrogant. And I hope somebody pulls his intestines out and eats them.
That would be
Just
satisfying,
like that.
right? The only way I'll accept him going. And okay, so now, Celaena steps over the line. She's holding the line, which, obviously she's doing more than that because it's
Yeah.
Celaena. But the cadre shows up, which I don't know. I found that exciting. Did you expect
Yeah.
anybody to show up for help, or did you think they were just going to be on their own?
I was hoping people would come, but like she says, like they were there for him, not her.
Right.
Right?
So where the Vogue prince, finally swept in and all the darkness came. That was a really intense chapter for me.
Oh, yeah.
And I really liked the way that she wrote it, how it started off with all of her loved ones calling her a coward and like putting her down
Yeah.
and shaming her. And then it flipped over. Hold on, let me, so I don't mess this up. They went into the old memory of the day that the king and Dorian came to visit them in Orinth. And
Yeah.
she looked at Dorian, and I loved her sash. She was like, "You eat like a fine lady." That was so funny to me. I absolutely loved that part. Like, I was cackling.
I did too. She's always been sassy pants,
She
hey?
has. She really has.
Yes.
And then the king tricked her into using her magic, and they had to flee to go hide.
What a shitbag.
Mm.
Oh my god, what
We
a
already knew
shitbag.
that, though. We already knew that. And I
Yeah,
feel like we already know all these people are the worst, and then it just keeps building them and building them.
yeah.
You just start peeling back layers and seeing that they've been rotten the whole time.
How did he know to do that? Were there spies there? Because he seems to know an awful bloody lot about things he shouldn't know anything about.
He does. And, maybe he did have spies. It's probably, I don't know. I don't know. It's probably hard to hide a power like that. Like it mentioned that she had burned part of the library on accident.
Yeah, but how did that get out of their realm? Like, this is surely stuff that you would put a kibosh on. Like, I know they don't sign NDAs there, but you'd think that they'd be like, "Hey, sworn to secrecy." Like, shh.
Yeah, and it makes you
You
think
know what I
like
mean?
did he make this entire trip just to pull that out of her and then,
I think
then assassinate her? He knew before he came. It's not like he felt it in her presence.
no, no. I think this plan. He's very strategic.
Yes, he
He
is.
is a military king through and through. Everything. He's already 10 steps ahead. He's already planned it all out. Well, if this happens, I can do this. If that happens, I'll do that. Like that's how it comes across to me. Like he's got redundancies for his redundancies. He's one of those kind of people, and
Yeah,
that's terrifying. Terrifying.
it is. But I really like how they started this little darkness section off with everybody putting her down and calling her a coward, and then it wrapped it up at the end with all of her loved ones telling her to get up. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember in the book one, Throne of Glass, Chaol during the duel was like, get up, Celaena. And then there was also Rowan, whenever she was training, was like, get up. Like everybody has told her to get up at some point. So that was
Yeah.
pretty powerful to have them all doing that, and that was what the catalyst or the turning point was for her to actually get up and fight.
Yeah.
Like I was
Yeah.
cheering her on whenever she got up. I was like, yes, go.
Yeah. Come on, you can do this.
Yeah. And then we find out that, Rowan runs out and helps in their Karinam. Did you suspect
Yeah.
that after their conversation about what that was previously?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah, it's supposed to be super rare. Oh, and even finding out about that some people will keep their Karinams as slaves was,
Yeah.
I
That
thought
was
about that.
wow. Because that's a dominance thing. Now I can just siphon off of you and just
Yeah.
leave you to
So,
rot.
but that shows him willing to run out there and save her life and offer up his own magic to her shows how much trust that they've built.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that because they're letting each other in, and that's the ultimate. That's there's nothing left at that point. Now you're in. That's it.
Yeah.
That's a huge trust thing. Yeah.
And I also really enjoyed the way that she wrote it about how whenever his power started coming into her body, she was like, oh, it's ancient and it's so powerful. And like just to be
Yeah.
able to hear and think about the differences in, their age and potential of their power it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool. I also like the part where like when you talking about the stand up, like the part that you're talking about,
Yes. Get
where it
up.
was kind of like Celaena and Aelin, like her two parts were coming
Yeah.
together to become, and I felt like that kind of helped her stand up too. She was accepting both sides of herself,
Yes, she was. I
and now
think
she can
I
stand up.
think that she really had to accept her pain
Yeah,
in order to break free from her previous
yeah,
constraints and
yeah. She
things
was
that were
chaining herself with
right.
her fear. You're exactly right. That's
Right.
nailed
And
it.
she doesn't in this moment she doesn't even just reclaim her magic. She's reclaiming her identity because she had lost
Yes.
that. And
Yeah.
magic is not and it's not just her weapon, like it is her birthright. So that was her stepping
Yeah.
into Aelin. This is where we meet Aelin. And
Yeah.
to hear
That's.
her at the
I
end of
think.
the book be like, "Yeah, I'm Aelin. I'm this." Like that I was just like, "Yes, you go, girl."
Yeah.
From now on, we have Aelin. So we won't have to do this whole,
Yeah.
name
It was.
flip-flop.
But it's funny because I mentioned the fact that she had all these different names, and you just nailed it for me because it slotted into place. She hadn't accepted who she was, and that's why all the names were. It didn't matter to her what name she had until this point where she's finally accepted. And
It's
yeah,
time.
that's just. I'm like a light bulb.
Yeah, it's time. It's time, and I'm so glad.
It's time.
Other random note was that Arobin has a word key. So, how do you think that has affected his like rule or not rule, but like he's the king of the assassins? Do you think that he's been made more powerful slash more lucky or any of those things because he has that? Or do you think he keeps it hidden and doesn't actually keep it on his person so it doesn't actually affect him?
Well, that's really hard to say at this point, so I don't think we've really had enough of him, but it has to have had an effect. There's no way that he'd have something that powerful and not
And
use
it
it.
not,
But
yeah,
it makes you
agreed.
wonder just how connected he is to the king at this point. Does the king know he has it? Like,
Yeah,
does the king know he has it? Is he with the king? Yeah.
would they be able to like
Like, I
recognize
don't
that
know. I
power
wondered.
in the other?
I don't know. I had so many questions about that because, like I said to you when we did Assassin's Blade, asking about why he was keeping Celaena alive. And I thought maybe he wanted her crown, right? Like to marry her and take his crown. Well, if he's got a word key, then he already knows way more than he's letting on.
But does he
Like,
know that he
there's
has the word key? Or did
This
he
is a
think
good
he was
point.
just stealing this symbol of Terrasin, the amulet of Orient? Like, I don't know that he knew that a word key was actually in there.
Maybe he didn't know what it was called, but I think he knows that there's power in it and he
You
can
gotta be
use
able to
it.
feel the power, right?
You've got it to. There's no way that he doesn't know something.
Or
Like,
smell
I
it,
don't know,
because
but
apparently
yeah,
they stink. Or smell otherworldly.
yeah. He has to know. He's not
Yeah.
stupid. He's not stupid. Oh my god, you every time we talk, I'm like, I need more information.
Yeah, you'll get it. You'll get it all.
I know.
Okay, next scene is they finally go into Doranel to go talk to Maeve.
Yeah.
And we learn a lot in this scene. So we learn that,
Yeah.
Maeve has been lying about the history of what happened with the word keys. She didn't give them over to Brandon to protect them. I mean, they've always called her like, the Dark Queen. So, and technically we know she's manipulative. So that didn't
Yeah.
really surprise me too much.
It really didn't surprise me either. Like I felt she was hiding something.
Yeah.
Something just smelled off.
One thing that we learned that I had my mouth hanging open, like chills, disgusting, terrifying, is that if the king gets all 3 word keys, he will have absolute control and he will have no need of callers and he can have an army of the dead.
Yes. I know. But you can see the difference with what he wants, and Aelin's like, how do I put these freaking things back?
Yeah, how do I prevent that?
And yeah, that's all she wanted to know is how do I get rid of this shit?
Yeah.
Like, she's not going to use it to do anything bad. So that's like the parallel now. The king wants to rule. She wants to put the bloody things back.
Yes.
Cheers, man.
Good versus evil. So, what did you think of Maeve's decision to have the cadre whip Rowan in front of Aelin?
I feel like there's something there that is missing. I know she says she let him go. Like the blood oath was over. I feel like that's not true. There's I don't think she's traded off. I think she has quietly put it to one side to get what she wanted in that moment.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't. She just doesn't seem genuine to me. And when she was like, "A blood oath can't be broken," and then all of a sudden she broke it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Something just didn't smell quite right there. I don't know.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I mean, I don't know on that. I mean, we obviously see it snap into place with
Yeah.
Aelin and Rowan. So unless
But
you,
did she do that with her magic? Like, did she make it appear that way, or does she know that the word key is going to do? I don't know. Like, I
yeah,
don't know. Something just didn't seem quite right. I know it looked like she did it, but I don't know. I had this feeling, and I wrote it down, and I'm like, why do I feel like this didn't really happen the way that it's put on the page? I don't know. Something just felt wrong. Maybe I'm
yeah.
overthinking it, but I'm just like, I feel like she gave in too soon. Does she know something we don't? Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we'll learn why she gave in the next book.
Okay, I hope so.
You-
Because something just, I felt like she knew something we didn't. And something, I don't know. For me, it felt like she bent really easy.
Well, we will learn in the next book, and it has to do with the level of importance of the trade that she made,
Okay.
So
Okay.
Celaena traded the gold ring for Rowan, and
Yeah.
it's the significance of that I think she put on a higher pedestal than Rowan's service, where he is already starting to peel away from her, as much as he can mentally, because he can't physically,
Yeah.
defy her. But I
Well, I
think,
wondered if did she know that they were a bonded pair? Maybe she knew
oh, I
that
don't
that would
think
break it eventually
so.
anyway. I don't know. There was just something that the way she was, I'm like, does she know they're bonded? Does she
Yeah.
know that if that bond gets any stronger, it's going to break her blood oath anyway, and this way at least she gets something for it? Like, I don't know. So it felt like she had more information than they did, and I didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, with regards to the cadre whipping Rowan, that was really intense to me. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like she was punishing him, but she was also testing Aelin.
I don't think this was so much about her and Rowan. It was to see the reaction
Well,
she got from her.
I think it was also to do with Rowan, because he just got down and they all knew what to do, and like, I don't think that this is the first time that this has happened.
Or maybe.
Rowan did make a comment after he had seen Celaena's back, and he was like, "Oh my God, has been lying to me." Maeve knew. So Maeve must have known that she was an Endovir and had been whipped. So she must have known that by whipping Rowan in front of her. And
Triggering.
she must have known that must have been so triggering and traumatic. Yeah, because she, emotionally and literally bears scars from this. Like,
Yeah.
that's their deepest scar. That's the one thing that she's like, don't you dare whip me. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that we really get to see how manipulative Maeve is, but we also get to see how high the stakes are for Rowan's freedom in this moment.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was pretty intense. So, did you
It was really intense.
appreciate or how did you feel about him immediately turning around and swearing the blood oath to Aelin? Obviously, you think that it probably wasn't in full because you think he's still connected to Maeve in some way, but do you think that
I
was like
kind
a
of
big F you, Maeve?
I think he wanted to do that, but he knew he couldn't. I think that he would have sworn it much sooner
Right,
had there not already been a
right.
blood oath in place. I feel like he felt trapped between the duty he had and what he wanted to do for her. And I think he would have bent the knee sooner if there had been no roadblocks in the way. I think he would have
Mhm.
already have done it. Like for me, it was like, well, I'm free now. I can do what I've been wanting to do.
Yeah,
So that must have been, I don't know. I would have dropped to my knees too. I think
probably.
that would have been me as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Maeve maybe underestimates them a little bit, and like
Yeah.
she just handed Aelin this huge power tool that is going to work with her. I think Maeve really underestimates the power of bonds that are forged through loyalty and
Yeah.
trust over, the way that she rules by
Fear.
fear and,
Fear.
.
I think you're right there. I think people are truly like that can't see
Right.
anything else except how they do it, and theirs is usually not the best way to do it anyway. I think you're right. I don't know. I get the feeling that we're going to see a lot more of that, more of Maeve's backhandedness, and
Yes. The last thing that I had written down for that section is just a little side note. I think it's so sweet that Rowan calls her Fireheart.
yeah, didn't her mother call her that?
Yes. So, like, is
Did
that
he
a
know that?
coincidence or
That's,
there's no way
I
he
don't know.
knew?
But no, 'cause I wrote the same thing down. I'm like, how did he know that her mother called her that?
I
And
don't.
I was gonna ask you about. I'm like, okay, maybe we'll find out in the future books. I'm like, that just seems really. But did he hear that in her in the bond? Like,
Oh,
is that something he picked
maybe.
up?
Yeah,
Maybe he
maybe.
didn't mean to. Maybe it was subconscious. But like, I'm like, maybe the bond gave him information that.
Yeah, because she had nightmares and stuff, and like maybe
Yeah,
he just heard it. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look the first time that he called her that, but I'm sure I wrote
yeah.
it down.
Because I thought that was
Yeah,
adorable.
it's
Oh my
that's
God, he's
super
super
sweet.
sweet. He was such a douche, and then he was just like, such a
Right?
sweetie pie.
You came a long way, Rowan. Like, pat on the back.
Like I messaged you, and I'm like, they just got to do it already. Like you could feel the tension was building between the two of them, and it was starting to make me like, come on, get over with already.
Well, I hope that you enjoy the few sex scenes in this book more than me. I don't know. I don't. They didn't do it for me. It's not like they're
More the
bad.
connect.
They're just not for me in this book.
I need like to hear about it. I need them to get it over with,
To
so
reach
that
that
they
next
can.
level of their relationship.
Yeah, because their build up has been long and arduous. I need it. I need them to move on to the next phase now.
Yeah, all of that tension and arguing, and then now essentially loving who the other person is and trusting on such a deep level that you'll send them your power and you don't even
Yeah,
kiss. Well, technically, she kissed him on the cheek once, being all
yeah,
playful.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see where they go as a couple. Like I know the funniest thing is I know that she said goodbye to Chaol, but I'm kind of interested to see what he thinks about all of this when he
Well,
finds out that she's kind of moved on
she
now.
also, yeah, she said bye, but she also said, I will always choose you.
She's a liar.
Yeah, now you're gonna go there.
Like, maybe that's yeah, but maybe that's Celaena would always
And
choose him,
that's
but now
true. And
she's Aelin.
it made a comment about that. I don't remember how exactly it was worded, but it did make a comment about that in it, about how Celaena would choose. He knew that Celaena would choose him, but Aelin could never.
Aileen Khan.
Hmm.
It's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess she didn't technically lie because if she was still living her Celaena life, I think she would have chosen
Right.
him. But she has stepped into Aelin now, and there's no room for him in
Aelin
that.
has
So
entered the game. Okay. Do you have anything else on that section?
I think you cover it. You're really good at covering everything that's. No, I've got one thing.
Okay. What's up?
I got one thing. So we know that. Oh my God, I can't pronounce her name. Who's the healer that just died?
Sorsha.
Sorsha. So we know Sorsha's just died, right?
Oh,
Well,
that's in the
and we
next.
know.
That's in the Otterlin one.
Oh, we're not But you haven't got to
No,
there
I
yet.
saved that one for last because, in my
Okay,
opinion, the end of that one was the most
no.
intense.
Then no, I do not have any
I
questions.
did it in like level of like awe factor, like jaw
Okay.
droppingness. So yes, we were. If you're done with the Aelin Rowan story, we were gonna jump into Otterlin.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So Otterlin, Dorian, and Chaol have this widening rift going on.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying that.
I'm not either, and honestly, part of me is like, oh, if you guys just talked, it could have been avoided. But like at the same time, I don't know that that's true. Chaol's trash at talking about his feelings and things, and I don't know, whatever. But there was
Yeah, I think
something.
you always had to avoid them.
Yes, he does. There was one part that I loved and I think was a motivating factor in change for Chaol. And it was when Chaol said, I'm trying to fix it. I will always love Celaena. And then Dorian responded with, you cannot pick which parts of her to love, and you cannot pick which parts of me that you accept. I was going to say, that's basically Dorian telling Chaol that love isn't conditional. Like, you can't love the pretty parts that you like and then reject the parts that scare you or that you find less appealing or taboo.
Yeah, I don't think that he's doing that. Dorian is really misconstruing what's happening between the two of them because he's assuming that like Chaol's keeping secrets because of the magic part, and it's not that. He's scared for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't care he has magic. He's scared of what that magic's going to do if somebody finds out.
He's trying to fix it, but it's not communicating. Like, be an adult and communicate, and that's the whole issue. I don't like miscommunication tropes. It's like my least favorite. So
I hate it too, but I understand that he is a god. It's not up to him to have feelings. And I don't think all he's learned to be is that. And I don't think that being a communicator was part of his job description. So he's only ever done what he had to do for his job. And I don't think he was ever supposed to adore Dorian the way he was. I think he was supposed to separate that when he became what he is, but he couldn't.
You put two
and
little
I
boys.
think Dorian doesn't understand his friends so well.
Yes, I agree. You put two little boys in a castle together and they grow up together and they're going to choose each other.
Yeah, but I think that now that they were kids and now they've got separate roles, Dorian's not appreciating that he has a job to do. Like, their friendship versus protecting him, it's protection first.
Right. Well, Dorian probably wants him to still choose him, and in his mind, like, he'll protect himself, I don't think Dorian's looking at the bigger picture. Like, maybe he thinks that he's safe from his father, or maybe he thinks that this tonic will keep his magic in check. Like, I don't know exactly where his head is at this point.
I don't think we've really been shown where his head is at yet. I feel like, what do you do when you are supposed to take the crown, but the way the person you're going to take it from's doing it the way you wouldn't do it? How do you reconcile that? How do you be the kind of king that you want to be, as well as being the kind of king you're supposed to be, as their dad has said it? Like, I would be really confused if I was Dorian. I'd be confused, and I wouldn't know if I'm strong enough to do it. I don't know if I'd be strong enough to do it. And I think he needs Chaol there to kind of support him. And he's not feeling that support right now because Chaol's keeping
that support. He's always been there for him. He's been his person, growing up all the way until this last book.
Yeah. And it's really, I hate it right now. I hate the fact that they're so fractured. And that was one of my biggest takes from this book, is that their friendship, that I actually enjoyed their friendship. And now that it's kind of gone, I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not happy about it.
Agreed. It's difficult to read. I kind of want to shake you a little bit.
Yeah, both of them. And I'm not saying that it's Dorian's fault, or I'm not saying it's Chaol's fault, but I really feel like the pair of them are just a little stubborn too, that they can't just like, he could have turned around and said, like, I understand you're trying to protect me, but you need to include me now. This is what I want. And if you're my friend, you would include me.
We'll
Stop trying to protect me.
We'll figure it out together. Yes.
We'll do this. But he hasn't said that either.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, but he hasn't said that either. He's just kind of like, man, you keep secrets for me. There. Like, I don't know. He's kind of being a bit of a baby.
Everybody's a little selfish baby. But they are. They're little teenagers, so.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I forget that sometimes. I know Celaena is just turned 19.
I think Dorian's the same age as Celaena, and I think that Chaol's like 2 or 3 years older, or 3 or 4 years older.
So they're still young, but I guess Dorian comes across older sometimes in the book, and I forget that.
Yeah, I think
And
he's
then he
also,
says something, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's the teenage brat.
yeah, for sure.
Like
It
I
definitely
forget that.
rears its head.
Yeah.
So after that, we learn a little bit about the towers and how they, the king uses them to control, but he's also kind of used them to anchor his spell to get rid of
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
What's really interesting to me is the first time I read this book, I didn't quite realize how much Chaol was doing to help Dorian and to bring
Yeah.
magic back. And so whenever he got the crystals and the red sand and took him down to the tunnel and was like, "Hey, I need you to practice with your raw power."
Yeah.
That to me was such an important moment because now not only is he doing what Dorian said, you can't accept parts of me, he's accepting all of him. He's getting him
Yeah.
to use his magic. So he's
Yep.
accepting his magic and like, let's do this. And also he is openly stepping onto this road of resistance against the king. Like there's no going
Yes.
back now. Like he's decided.
No. Yeah. I don't think he's going to change his mind. Nothing's going to change his mind now.
I don't either. That was go Kale.
Yes. Yes.
Let's talk about this was the hardest part for me to read in the whole book. In response to the king killing the slaves,
Yes.
the theater that was heartbreaking to me. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Not even heartbreaking, that's the wrong word. It was powerful. Like it was the quietest form of resistance I think in the book, but oh my god, it was the loudest. Like I just it gave me chills. How did you feel about it?
It wrecked me inside to know that he didn't care. It was just whatever.
Yeah.
Business as usual. But the rolling effect of he's just turned the tide now. Like, I think had he not done that, maybe he could have kept going on the path that he was on. But can you imagine being that ruthless?
Yeah. Well,
They
it's
wouldn't
not,
have been.
it's I want to rule and they have the numbers. Even though I have the power, they have the numbers. And you know what? Just to keep my reign safe from anybody trying to step up, I'm just gonna take them all out.
Yep. But the fact that he had people to do it, that they're either that brainwashed or they can't think for themselves. Like, I don't know. If somebody gave me that order, I'd be like, why? Like,
Well,
why is no one questioning this?
yeah,
Why?
I
Like, what?
100% agree.
I don't know. It was a really hard section for me to wrap my head around because that just shows there's nothing good in that man. There's nothing redeemable in that man. Nothing.
It's rotten.
He's rotten to the core. But was he always like this, or did the word keys do this to him? Like, that was another thing, right? I'm like, if he had never found those word keys, would he still have been this ruthless?
Well,
Or is it making him darker inside?
you'll learn. You'll get somebody to learn. But with regards to the theater, coming out in morning black and playing all the songs of the people who have been silenced and then just walking off the stage, like I have so much appreciation for that because I love art. Like I love any form of art, music, anything, and like it's just I feel like all of these other forms of resistance can be silenced, but this one can't because it's going to live in everybody's memory that was there, and then through word of mouth, everybody who speaks about it. So I appreciated them for doing that so much, even though they knew the outcome was, either they're going to be shut down and killed or whatever. It was just, I absolutely thought that was the most heartbreaking and powerful part of the book to me.
Yeah.
I was crying, like not even just tearing up. I was like,
it was very impactful. I think if anybody at that point hadn't made up their mind about what side they were on, that would have sealed anybody into, okay,
yeah, well,
this is wrong. Like, I don't get how anyone could have just done that. I don't.
People get brainwashed and people are power hungry and they fear more for their life than they do. If it's not directly affecting them, then keep yourself safe and, just do what you're told, even though it's affecting everybody else in this terrible way. Like you're part of the problem.
Yeah. Imagine if that was someone you loved in there. Like, how would you have felt that no one questioned that? I don't know. It was a hard section for me. I actually didn't write any notes on it because I just had to get through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It had to be over for me because I'm already mad. And now I'm
Yeah.
sad and mad.
Sad and mad. I feel
Yeah.
you. I feel you. I'm right there with you. Um, okay, so after that, in Otterlin and Rifthold, people start getting word that Aelin is alive and she's back,
Yep.
and this spreads like wildfire through the town. Everyone is just
Yep.
excited. She's this little light, this little sliver of hope.
Speaking of hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, uniting everybody, and, I enjoyed that. And at the end of the storyline, though, I did not like this. Everyone is summoned by the king, and Adian, I loved his little taking ownership of being the spy, and even spitting at the king's feet. Loved that. Go Adian.
I did too, but it was, for me, it was the fact that he knew that Chaol was going to take the blame for all of it, and he just couldn't have that because he knew that
That's
Celaena, the Aelin, wouldn't have wanted that.
so he was
And
doing
that
it
was,
for
for me, I'm
Aelin.
like, yeah, he did it. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
so I'm like, oh, so sweet. Because he's such a, he's a little bit of a sarcastic, hard ass.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, that kind of, he was such a cutie pie there.
Yeah, I
That was
enjoyed
so sweet.
and
He did that for her. He hasn't even seen her, and he knew that she'd want him protected, and I was just like, oh,
yes. And then
honey.
yeah, I enjoyed that. His loyalty for her runs really deep.
Yeah. I like their connection, even though we haven't seen them together yet, as adults, now. I love the connection that they still have to each other, because she remembers him fondly too, right? That she has moments when she's remembering, and I'm like, it's sweet.
Yeah.
That's still there. That bond's still
Well, the
there,
bond
even
is
though they
still
haven't been
there, but
together.
also you're ripped away and everyone you love is murdered, and you had this bond, and the world is so bad. There's all this
Yeah.
bad in the world, and that is the last amazing, really good thing that you
It's,
remember and you're holding on to keep you going,
yeah. I kind of, that was probably one of my favorite. I know that Aelin and Rowan, their connection is powerful, but I felt like her connection to him was just, it was sweet.
Yeah.
It was so sweet. And I love that. And I can't wait. They get to see each other, right? Please, I know I said don't spoil anything for me, but please tell me that they
I'm not
find each
doing
other.
anything, but yeah, I think that you'll be, well, I don't want to say happy with everything plays out, because you're definitely going to go through a range of emotions and different things that happen
Oh,
and
I'm expecting that.
obstacles and all of that. But everything you want. Well, this series is very well done. So I'll just say that.
Okay. Because I
And
just need to know that they're gonna reconnect again.
And then the next thing is Sorsha. We learn while she's on her knees that, she is actually the one that has been sending information to the rebels, which
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed. Not only are you
Me.
healing a little bit extra and helping hide Dorian's magic, but you're, reporting the king's stuff to the rebel movement. Go Sorsha.
Yeah. Well, she put her life on the line because she knew
Absolutely.
exactly what kind of king he is, and she did it anyway.
Absolutely.
That was really badass.
Well, she's
Really
been in love with his
badass.
son for 6 years too. So
Yeah. I don't think that would have changed anything for her. I think knowing that people's lives are at risk, and she lost all her people.
right. I think it was that, but also I think that, in being able to love Dorian, she can see that he is a kind, caring person, and maybe
Yeah.
he would be more fit to rule. Sorsha, rebel or whatever, and then after everything, the king has her head chopped off. I mean, obviously he wasn't gonna let her go. He has no
No.
empathy at all. But what got me the most was not necessarily the fact that she was beheaded. It was Dorian screaming and crawling to her afterwards.
Yeah. That was devastating.
I know it was.
It's like he keeps getting kicked in the
He
nuts.
does.
Every time he feels something for somebody, he gets kicked right in the nuts.
Yeah. His first love, his cousin slept with.
Yeah.
And his second love, Celaena, chose his best friend.
Best friend.
And then this one, he just had this brief encounter with, and she gets beheaded right in front of him. Oh my God, how traumatic.
Would you really want love after the
Right. And the fact that he can just stay Dorian is, or he's been able to stay himself through all of these tragedies is, I don't know, it's nice. But
Yeah,
that part
it
was super sad to me. Do you think that his and Sorsha's relationship was really meaningful and that they had a real connection, or what did you think of it?
Well, we know that she was there because she was trading information. So she was there, she had a purpose. But I think that she really felt something. And I think that he felt that she was the only person that knew everything about him in
Yes.
that moment and was there for him.
She
She
accepted all
didn't,
of him.
yeah, she didn't expect anything. All she wanted was just to be there for him. And I think that was probably because it seems like his own mother doesn't really give a crap. His father definitely doesn't give a crap. He's on the outs with his best friend right now. Like, I feel like that's all he had. And he was pouring everything into that
He
because
needed someone.
that was his happy place.
Yeah.
Like, to watch after like reading, I know that it was very brief, like they weren't together for very long, but I really feel like the damage this is going to have done compared to losing Celaena, I ached. I
Yeah.
ached for him.
And I think
Wanted to hold him.
I know. I think that it was genuine in what he needed and his best option in that moment. But also, I think
Yeah.
we see, even with Celaena, Dorian wants something that is his, that is not controlled by the king. So I think
Yeah.
that this was his, you know, him taking that for himself and pursuing that. So I don't know. It was sad. Poor Dorian.
It was horrible.
I know.
It was horrible. And if he isn't against his father now, then, like before, he better be now. Because I'm sorry. That just shows that he doesn't give a shit. And if you haven't seen that yet, you are blind, man.
He knows how evil his dad is.
No, but at this point, he still hasn't actively gone really against him.
You're right.
Like, if this is not the pivotal moment, I don't know what the hell someone needs to do to get this man on board. Like, I really don't.
Well, okay, so after Sorcerer's beheaded, Chaol then draws his sword and says,
Yep.
I'm not going to serve you. There's only one king here, referring to Dorian. And way to go, Chaol. Like,
Yes.
first of all, I mean, it's a little stupid because you don't have any backup and you probably want to die. But, like, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, that was Chaol had made a decision at that point, and he was going to die for that. He didn't care. He was going to protect Dorian. Because, like I said, I think the whole point of all of this, of keeping Dorian in the dark, was to protect him from the king, to protect him from his dad. And now it's like, if I have to put my sword out there now to protect you to get away, I'll do that. Because it's always been about protecting Dorian, always. And I hope that Dorian sees that now, because I'm going to be really pissed if this fractured relationship carries into the next book.
So
I know you're not going to tell me, but I don't
know. There's so many times where I'm just like, I'm not going to say anything. Chaol draws his sword, says Dorian, and in order to protect Chaol, Dorian lets his magic out.
Yep.
Which also, that goes to show how deep their bond is, because it didn't happen with Sorsha, and it didn't happen in all these other instances, like, you know, him killing all the slaves. But whenever there was an arrow flying at Chaol, Dorian was like, absolutely not.
That's his brother. I don't care what anyone says. They are brothers.
So
that's true love right there.
It is. So then we go through this moment of Dorian battling his father, and like, honestly, I feel this like triumph, and I'm like, get him, Dorian, you know, you got raw magic, you can do this. And then the collar.
Yeah.
That's tragic.
Yes.
Did you see that one coming? Because it did mention that there was a one sitting on this table next to the king beforehand that I caught, but you didn't see it coming. Did you think that one of them was going to kill the other one, or maybe one of them was going to get imprisoned? Like, what did you think was going to happen in that scene before that happened?
You know what? I didn't think they were going to answer it in the book. I thought that was where she was going to cliffhanger it. Like, I thought I didn't think this was going to kick off the way that it did. I thought that Chaol, like, pulling his sword, I thought that there was a good chance that the next part would be something else. Because I really didn't think that she was going to tell us anything at that point. So I hadn't really formed what I thought was going to happen. I actually thought that there was a chance that he may well have tried to kill Chaol, like the king. Like, I thought, what would destroy your son more than to watch your best friend die? And did the king know that his son had magic? That was something else. I was like, I remember.
I think he said in there, he was like, I always knew you had it. Like, he had his suspicions.
Yeah, but he didn't know, right? He thought that there was a chance. Yeah, that's what I thought too. And I thought when he said that maybe he would put it on his son. But at the same time, he must have known the danger there really was the other guy, right?
Oh my God.
Like, I don't know. That's really hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know. No one is safe under this king. Ugh.
No, he doesn't
son. Yeah.
Nah, he don't care. He doesn't care at all. He doesn't. I don't think he cares about anybody but himself.
Yeah, but we will, now that Dorian has a collar on, that's an interesting storyline. We'll kind of get to learn more
Yeah, I
about
can't wait for
what
that.
we'll see. Oh, we'll see. Next book's very intense. It's so good. I can't. Okay, so we end this section of them with Chaol going and throwing his sword into the river or lake,
Yeah,
whatever it is. And that was, I feel like that just solidified his change. I'm done being this. I'm stepping into new Chaol.
yeah. I'm ready to see that, and I think it's a long time coming. I think he was ready to be more,
Yeah,
but I think his friendship with Dorian kept him tethered
I
to
agree.
the king too. So
Longer because he
this is
can't
going to be a
do,
really.
yeah,
I can't wait to see how his arc goes now.
yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to see this.
Same. Okay, so that was all that I have on that section, and then I have like a few other random things I didn't know where to fit in.
Okay, well, I have one random
Okay,
thing
go
too.
for it.
So they talk about the fact that Aelin has like healer blood.
That was one of the things I had.
So I'm like that took me back to Assassin's Blade where I'm like, did she know that about herself, and is that why she was really gung ho to help Irene because she was
Ooh,
like
yeah.
the healer thing? Because I'm like, I wonder if that she felt a kinship because she also like if she had another way of doing things, she could have been a healer.
Oh, I didn't
You know what
think
I mean? But
that.
that maybe that was
Yeah.
a road not taken. But then I was like, Irene, I'm like, we just lost a healer. Are we going to see her in future books? Is that why she was written into Assassin's Blade? That we're going to see her again? Because now we're missing a healer and
That
maybe we need a
that
healer.
was
So I,
my
I read that. I'm like,
yeah, that was my thing whenever I first read Assassin's Blade. I was like, I really hope Irene comes back. Like I like her character.
yeah,
I need to see the outcome and the result of Celaena's, helping her
yeah.
along the way.
No, I felt that way too. And I'm like, I wonder if the reason she wrote Assassin's Blade the way she did was because she knew the characters in each section would appear again in the series. And I was like, I really hope it was an introduction to these characters, like
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
pirate guy. And I'm
Not
like, I'm
just about
wondering if,
Celaena, but about
yeah,
everybody. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, I'm interesting to see where their stories goes. But that was the only random thing I really wrote down.
Okay. Random things I had is the little folk. How do you view them? Do you think, because they showed up quite a few times in this book, little short things, and they even showed up in previous books. Do you
Yeah.
think that they serve like the land, or do you think they have an alliance with any particular people? Like, do you have any thoughts on them at this point?
No, I kind of felt like they were just part of where they don't have an allegiance unless there's something that they
The
need.
betterment of their
Yeah,
lives.
the betterment of what they're doing. I thought they were really.
They're
I thought it was an interesting twist of the tale, but I didn't really see where they were going to fit
we,
in the future books. But I could see that they were building something. That's good that we're going to see more of that. But I guess I don't have enough information.
So they seem to like help her out a lot. Like whenever she was running, whenever she was little and her foot got tangled in the roots and they untangled it for her. And they're always
Yeah.
bringing her gifts. So I was wondering, do you think that they only allow certain people to see them and only help certain people? Or do you think that they're like tied with Celaena or Aelin, I guess it now is the name.
Well, that's an interesting question. I kind of figured they came out when someone needed help, and I'm wondering if they know that she is royalty. That I
Yeah.
wondered if maybe it was just like they understood that, and that's why the gifts. Well, that's a
Well,
really good
there was a
question.
moment too whenever she was traveling in the beginning of this book, whenever she was traveling with Rowan to Wendlin and all their eyes were there and she whispered to them, she was like, they still live. So I was wondering, because like I don't know if she was trying to like let them know, convey to them that like who still lives, because almost everybody's dead. Is it allies? Is it, her and her allies? Or was that more of a her trying to reassure herself that she
I
still
think
has
she's reassuring
people?
herself because it doesn't make sense otherwise.
Yeah,
Like,
because I sat there and I was like, because I wrote it down and I was like, I'm still not sure what she meant by that.
yeah, I think she was saying to herself, they're still around. They are still here. Like
Okay.
maybe that made her feel better to know that they were still there
Okay.
because it kind of helped her out. Maybe that just made her feel a
Yeah.
little
I
safer.
wasn't sure on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was just she was saying that they're still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Next random is, why do you think Maeve never leaves Dornell? Because it mentioned several times that she never leaves in her form.
Where is there no magic? Like,
There,
is it because she knows
her
that she'll lose her
Yeah,
power?
her continent is where magic is still. Magic was wiped out within that equal or whatever triangle.
Yeah.
And it was, I can't remember all the points of it, but one of them's in Rifthold, Otterland, and then I think one of them was in like Marath area, and then another one was like in the Dead Islands, maybe. I'd have to look at a map. But yeah,
Okay.
Dornell and Windlin are outside of that, so they still have magic. And I'm sure there are a couple other little places.
So she doesn't leave her.
I don't think she leaves Dornell. Like, I think she stays
Okay.
behind those megalith wards.
I'm wondering if maybe that she knows that she's in danger, she steps out of them. Maybe she feels
Yeah.
fear of something we don't know yet.
Yeah, okay. And then the next thing
I
I
don't
had
know.
written down was about the megalith wards, which I found super interesting. Like,
Yeah.
do you think that those predate Maeve, or do you think she put them there for protection, or do you think she chose to set up shop there because she is protected?
Well, that's what I thought. I thought that maybe that's why she picked where she
Yeah.
was, because that's like the powerhouse. But
Yeah, a little bit
oh
of
my god, every
empowerment.
time you say things, I'm like, God, did I misread
No, you
that?
didn't miss. These are because I read the book. This is my second time that I was able to focus on other things other than just like the main in your face story. So
Yeah, I thought she created where she was because it was already like that.
yeah,
Like I assumed that she could feel there was great power there, and that's why she. But I'm wondering, it makes you wonder if maybe her power is not as strong as it should be, and she has to stay within those wards.
yeah,
Otherwise, she's not as powerful. She's in more at risk.
yeah.
I don't know. That's really
It
interesting.
also made
Double
a
find out.
comment early in this book about whenever she first got there, and Aelin could feel her, or I guess Celaena at that point could feel her trying to go into her head
Yeah,
to like pick. Do you think that that's going to come into play more?
I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so. I need to
We
know more
don't
about
know her
that.
at this point. We don't know her power exactly or the extent
No,
of it.
no. Didn't it say, which one of them? Because there's three of them, right? There was three
There's
of them.
Mab.
Didn't one of them say that she didn't have a form? Like she didn't settle on a form?
I think it's Maeve can switch into
Yeah.
multiple
Okay.
different forms. But like
Yeah.
also in the beginning of the book, she sees Maeve sitting like up on the throne with her owl on her shoulder, one of her whatever.
Yeah.
But then at the end, she said like she turned back and like nothing was there. It was just an owl flying off. So like it makes me wonder like does Maeve turn and I don't know. I don't remember full of it. I mean, I do remember parts of it, but I don't remember the complete picture, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah. I know what I'm doing when we sign off, okay?
As you should. Okay, another random note that I mentioned, and I don't also remember if we find out, but I was going to ask how rare do you think raw magic is? Because in chapter 11, Maris mentions that a couple weeks prior, a very beautiful woman had come through there with raw magic. And like,
Yeah.
I didn't catch that the first time through. And I'm like, okay, so there's another.
Well, supposedly it is really rare, right? Isn't that what I read? That
Yeah,
it's
it's supposed to be
rare.
super rare. So whenever I read that there was another one, I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, random little things I catch. And then I had written about her water magic. And
Yeah.
then which storyline was your favorite? You said the witches.
Yes. I kind of, I don't know. I think it's something to do with, I know they're on the side of the king right now, but I don't think it's going to stay that way. And I'm really excited to see what happens because I feel like Manon and Aelin together could be, oh my God. Like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking
Yeah,
about it now. That could
they're
be something
both so
absolutely magnificent.
yeah, they're both so powerful. And honestly, they're both really similar. Like I even
Yeah.
had the thought while I was reading, I was like, how would they fare in the other one's position?
Yeah. I don't think much would have
Yeah, I
changed.
think that they would have done great, honestly. Like
Yeah.
they're pretty
Yeah.
similar.
I really enjoyed The Witches, but I also really enjoyed Chaol. I feel like he really grew during
Yeah. That was my
this
next
book.
question is which character do you think grew the most in this book?
Yeah, I would definitely say Chaol.
I would say
For
Carol
a
and
lot,
Aelin.
yeah,
Well, because
she
Aelin is now Aelin.
yeah, I think she made really massive. I think she didn't so much change, but I think she accepted herself
Yeah.
more. Whereas Chaol is just Chaol. I think he had the most growth in the
We
book.
had
Whereas Aelin finally accepted that she is who she is
yeah,
and she can't fight it anymore. But the two sides of her together are it's
right.
she's not just Celaena and she's not just Aelin. She is like,
She's now melded the both of them together.
yeah, so she has magic and she can fight. And I think I read too in this book that they were talking about, well, why did they all die out if they have magic? But as soon as the magic was gone, they couldn't protect themselves because none of them knew how to
They
fight.
hadn't trained to be a warrior.
They hadn't been trained to be warriors, but she has both. And I think she's realizing that if the magic disappears, you still have to have a backup because she had to.
And
So she's going to have a new way of doing things. Freaking excited for that.
oh, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. Like now that we're in the later part of the series, I'm not gonna do any of my responsibilities. I'm just gonna
I'm not
my
adulting
kids are gonna
anymore.
watch TV all day and I'm gonna read.
That my kids go back to school in 2 weeks anyway, so we're getting to the point now where
Yeah, my daughter's she's in kindergarten now, so I'm like, well, you're stimulated and learning and stuff all day. You get home, sure, go watch some TV.
yeah, you need to decompress.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I agree with Chaol with the most character growth because Aelin always knew where she needed to go. So yes, she grew
resisting it.
into that position, but Chaol didn't know, and he literally had to take every crumble. Like, okay, so this book is about ashes. That's another thing that I was thinking. Like this book, the Heir of Ash in the beginning, and that doesn't just represent Celaena. Like everything in this book has to burn to grow, to be reborn better. Like
be born, yeah.
Aelin, Chaol, freaking Dorian's love.
Dorian,
like, everybody at some point had to have something burn, and I think that is to move forward with the rebirth.
Yeah, it's done in the most tragic way. Like, I'm sorry, I think Dorian just really, he really took it in the arm. Yeah, that's, I don't know. I think he, if you ask me, who got the shittiest end of the stick in this book, it was Dorian.
Well, yeah, and now he is a slave.
Yeah,
essentially. I don't want to tell you exactly what it all is, but like he's now.
I know.
He's not gonna have a good time in this next
I
book.
know. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the next book, and I wished now. What I had wished I'd done was, because I finished it on Thursday, I wished I had chapters for Friday, so I didn't spend all day looking at my box.
Well, see, I'm having to finish earlier because there's so much that I want to try to like organize and get it, and so I want to spend Friday doing that. That's the last thing I had. I'm super.
I'm excited to see where this story goes. I'm hoping there's more witches in the next book.
Yeah, so the next book, I mean, it's not going to spoil anything, but the next book, obviously, Manon is the main witch. So we'll follow her to Morath. So we'll have a new place, which I really enjoy and hate at the same time, but I really enjoy the Morath storylines. I really, throughout the rest of the book, the witch is what's your favorite in Heir of Fire, it gets better and better and better and better. Like, it's so good. And then let's see, Celaena is now going to travel back. And what's going to be interesting about that is there's no magic there. So now she's learned this and she's going to have to live without it. So that's an interesting adjustment.
Well, now they know, like, that they think that the towers are stopping the magic. Like, are they going to work on getting those knocked over?
Well, Celaena doesn't know that. Chaol knows that.
Oh, no, she doesn't, but, like...
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the next step, right? Random other question. If you... Or actually, we could ask people to comment as well. Yeah. If you were Fae, because all Faes have a secondary shifted form, what would your animal be?
Something that can fly, for sure. I'd have to be able to up in the air. Yeah. So maybe like a phoenix or something like that. Like something.
Which is fitting for the Heir of Fire.
Yeah. Like something like a phoenix. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you would shift into. That would be really interesting to see what other people think. What about you? What would you shift into?
Honestly, my first thought was not in a fantasy world. It was in my everyday life, and I would be like a freaking house cat. Like, pet me, let me lay around all day.
Oh, no, you know what? I'd be a sloth then. So I could just lay in the tree.
Yeah.
Because I miss sleep.
Yeah, it would be hard. I feel like it would be so beneficial to be able to fly.
Yeah.
For like travel and everything like that.
Yeah.
But also, if you fly, you lose the ability to, have thumbs and really move around as much as other animals. So I think I'd probably be like a large cat, like maybe like a panther, so I could blend into the night or something like that. I don't know.
True. But then, no, I'd still want to fly. Everything's on the ground and they've got swords. I could fly above you. You can't get me now.
Yes. I mean, as a large cat, though, I could like climb up high. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I would want to fly. I'm undecided at this moment.
Yeah, you've got time to decide. I'll ask you again on the next
Yeah.
episode.
Sounds great.
Awesome. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. I know I
For
did.
sure. Join us next time when we dive into Queen of Shadows.
Absolutely. Have a great reading week, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.